record, the Bush brothers invading South Carolina. Governor Jeb Bush is right here to talk about the presidential boost his campaign is about to get. And that's not all. Governor Bush certainly isn't afraid of Donald Trump. He says Trump would be a worse president than President Obama. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is in Columbia, South Carolina. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Great to be with you, Gretchen.
And Governor, happy birthday.
Greta, excuse me. What am I talking about?
I get that all the time.
I'm tired.
I know you are. Let me wish you happy birthday. I know it's your birthday.
It is. I've had a great birthday campaigning all across the coastal part of South Carolina, as well as now we're in Columbia. So it's been great.
All right, and your brother's joining you. Your brother has had enormous success. Even your father has had enormous success in South Carolina, going back to 88, 92. And now, what's your brother going to do for you?
Well, he's going to have a rally in North Charleston. I'm excited about that. I think he's going to be in Columbia prior to that. And I will hook up with him for an evening event next Monday in North Charleston. He has not done this before. Since he's left office, he's not been involved in any kind of public political event, and I'm proud that he is going to help his younger brother.
I listened to a radio show you were on today in which you said that the next debate, part of your strategy is not to let Donald Trump bully you. What do you mean by that?
Well, he bullies everybody. He pushes people around like we're all, you know, just parts of his little domain. We're not. We're running for President of the United States. I'm the only guy standing up to him. I didn't say that Donald Trump would be worse than Barack Obama as a president, but I did say that he's as divisive as Barack Obama, and he is. He is a competing version of negativity and pessimism and divisiveness. And for a conservative to win, we need to have a hopeful, optimistic message. And that's my case that I'll make on Saturday night. And the fact that Donald Trump may not like the fact that I'm going after him, that's just tough luck. I mean, he disparages people. I'm not disparaging him. I'm just pointing out that his record, his ideas are not the serious ideas that we need to lead this country forward.
Well, at the same time that you're going to take this strategy towards Donald Trump, Governor Kasich now says he's accusing you of a negative tone. He even says that your negative tone that could impact sort of the Bush family name.
Oh, I know. They're so upset that there's a comparison, for example, on Medicaid. John Kasich expanded Medicaid through Obamacare. Many states didn't, including Florida. And as a private citizen, I worked hard to make sure that Medicaid wasn't expanded. He's proud of it. I think it's the wrong thing to do. That's not attacking him. That's just pointing out that there's a difference. I'm a conservative, reform-minded candidate running for president, and I have the most conservative, reform-minded record as governor of the state of Florida.
You mentioned that President Obama and Donald Trump, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they both divided. They're more divisive than they are uniters. How is President Obama that way? How does that manifest itself?
All the time. Whenever someone disagrees with him, he, for example, on the Iranian agreement, which I think is a disastrous agreement for our country, in the midst of the debate, rather than defend his position and persuade, he says Republicans were in cahoots with the Death to America crowd. I mean, really? I mean, you consider the fact that he negotiated with the same people that chant death to America, but this is always his tendency. He always wants to push someone down, push people away to make himself look better. It's not about him. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about forging consensus to solve problems. Our country is hurting. People are suffering. And we need someone who doesn't focus on how big he is and how little other people are. We need someone focused on creating a sense of purpose, of unity again for this great country.
Problems are heating up, if that's even a possible way to describe it, in Syria. Where are you on the topic of a no-fly zone or not in Syria?
Yeah. We need a no-fly zone. I laid this out at the Reagan Library in August, and I continue to believe, irrespective of the intentions of Russia, that we need a no-fly zone and safe zones in Syria to unite Europe, the Arab countries, the United States, with a Sunni-led army to defeat ISIS and bring about change as it relates to Assad. You have to create a secure Syria over the long haul to eliminate the breeding ground of jihadists that is going to take place with these refugee camps all around the region.
Could you have a no-fly zone without putting a lot of troops on the ground and even to sort of maintain this safety zone? I mean, somebody's got to be on the ground looking out at, above and calling out where things are.
Sure. No, absolutely. We need forward-leaning air controllers. We have to have special operators on the ground. We have them already, and we need to expand them so as to create the trained force that I'm talking about. And the no-fly zone, you do need infrastructure on the ground to identify and create precision strikes for sure. We need all this, by the way, in Iraq as well. We need to re-engage with the Sunni leaders, provide more direct support, more sophisticated weapons with the Kurds, and embed our troops with the Iraqi military. That's the strategy I laid out, and it requires getting the lawyers off the backs of the warfighters and lead the world, not just do this unilaterally, but we need to do this in unison with our allies.
As awful as Assad is, we saw that there was such a void left when Mubarak left and when Gaddafi left. Do we run into a situation where if we do get rid of Assad, we've suddenly created an Egypt-Libya situation?
That's the lesson learned of both Iraq and certainly Egypt, and most particularly Libya. When you achieve the military victory and don't have the political solution behind it, you have chaos. And now ISIS apparently has up to 5,000 jihadists in Libya. It's the largest branch of ISIS. And you have total chaos in a dysfunctional Libya. You have to find a political solution. And my belief is that in Syria, that would require Assad's demise, that he would have to leave. And it would be with pressure from the international community, but from a position of strength. Right now, John Kerry is negotiating to try to get to the peace talks. In the interim, the Assad regime, supported by Hezbollah, Iran, and Russia, is pushing our support outside of Aleppo, and people are dying, and there's more refugees going, and we're striving to create talks. We need to deal with this from a position of strength, and you do that with a military strategy first and foremost.
Governor, nice to see you, sir.
Thanks, Greta.